Jambo Africa. This is African Dignity. I am Advocate Sokon. I don't know why people call me Hamas. I don't know who called me Hamas on the TikTok platform, but I am Advocate Sokon, and I want to state it categorically that I am not an advocate for Hamas. Neither am I an advocate for Israel. All I'm saying is that non-whites should always remember that whatever is happening in Israel was fomented by Europeans, because Europeans tend to believe that in order to enrich themselves, there should be war that is raging anywhere, whether they are allowed to sponsor it or not, because they will be beneficiaries. This is the same thing that happened during the First and Second World War. Europeans benefited out of this, including the problem that we have today, which was the forcefully removing of Jews from Europe, taking Jewish land in places like Poland, Russia, Belarus, Germany, Holland, France, and all over Europe, including Italy, where people like Benito Mussolini made laws that discriminated against Jews. People should always remember that it is wrong to put all the blame on Hitler, as if Hitler was the pioneer of anti-Semitism and the hatred against Jews. Hitler only came with what was called the final solution. He did not start this madness against Jews just because Jews do not look like Europeans. They have traits that push them almost back to the Middle East or Africa. That is why people like Chamberlain, people like Balfour, and people like Theodore Herzl did not have a problem with Jews being chased away from Europe and given land in places like Uganda. They did not care whether they could be taken to Argentina. So you could see that the only problem that the Jews faced is that they did not look like Europeans, so they had to be removed. And they did not care whether the people of Palestine will agree to that or not. Hence, we will now have this war going on in generations to come, because the most sober decision that can be taken in Palestine is to, okay, because the state of Israel has been formed, let us go back to the 1967 borders, although the Palestinians will not agree with it. Let's go back to the 1967 borders and also allow the state of Palestine to exist, because I will tell you, other than Yitzhak Rabin, no Israeli prime minister has ever confirmed or stood in favor of the creation of the state of Palestine. As it is now, the so-called Palestinian Authority is an Israeli government, because there is no state called Palestine. If the Europeans and all these superpowers were genuine, what they are supposed to do now is to make sure that the land that was confiscated from the Jews in places like Auschwitz, Dachau, and all those concentration camps, in places like Belarus and Ukraine, that land should be returned to the Jews and be given for the benefit of the Jews. Because as it is now, Jews, because of land deprivation, they are now busy destroying places like Gaza, West Bank, and they want to take over Iran, Iraq, Jordan, and all those places are around Israel, especially Lebanon. Lebanon will fall anytime now, and the Jews will take that land because they were chased away from their own land in Europe. Now they think, with the support of USA and other countries like Britain, they will be allowed to take over those land in the Middle East, such as Lebanon, Syria, and other countries. Now, if another very important factor is that Africans in places like Libya, Morocco, Egypt should stop associating themselves with that conflict in whatever way. I know there is an Arab League, but that is going to affect Africa as a whole. We should be focusing on the conflicts within Africa, such as conflicts in Sudan, conflicts in Mali, in Nigeria, because we are Africans. You can look lighter than Africans in the middle of Africa or south of Africa. But at the end of the day, we are all Africans, and we will be treated by Europeans as Africans, whether you think your hair is straight or you look lighter than other Africans, but you will be treated like an African. The same thing will apply to Jews. We need to accept Jews as our own brothers and find a way to sort out the problem in Israel, because at the end of the day, Jews too do not look like Europeans. Even if they think they look like Europeans, but they are not accepted as Europeans. Hence, they were told that they should go and stay in places like Uganda and in South America, in Argentina. So they should understand that Semites are people. In European terms, Semite will be everyone who stays in the Middle East, and anyone who doesn't look white is regarded as a Semite. So please sober up. Do not allow America and England to foment a third world war, because if that war goes on in the Middle East as we speak, and it goes on in Ukraine, we are definitely going for a third world war, which will be very catastrophic. So, leaders of the world, people in the UN, stop using your veto to escalate these conflicts just because you are benefiting by supplying these countries with arms. You are benefiting when these arms are tested on people who do not look like you. Stop this. It is madness. It is not allowed. You will then kill yourself, or you will then drown in your own vomit. Mark my words. Viva Africa. Viva peace. Viva the state of Israel. Viva the state of Palestine. Away with killers. Away with Hamas. Away with Netanyahu. Because all those people are warmongers at the expense of innocent lives. Let us stop that war. Let everybody stand up and stop that war. BRICS must be made formidable so that it can stand against the United Nations. The United Nations has failed. Everybody in the United Nations have failed to bring about peace. Exactly what was the UN made for. It has failed to do it, so that war should stop. We need to find other solutions to these conflicts. Thank you.